Good morning to one and all. I welcome you all for this today's morning session. So today I will be starting with gear trends. Next new module, that is gear trends. So first of all we'll discuss what is gear trends. Two or more gears are made to mesh with each other to transmit a power from one shaft to another. Such a combination is called as a gear trends. You all can see in the figure this gear 1 and gear 2 are meshed with each other to transmit motion from this number 1 shaft to number 2 shaft. That is nothing but a gear trends. Okay. So the next we'll deal with types of gear trends. There are four types of gear trends: simple gear trends, compound gear trends, reverted gear trends, and epicyclic gear trends. So first of all, we all can discuss with simple gear trends. These are the simple gear trends only I have shown here. One will be a driver and another will be a driven. Okay. So what is simple gear trends? When there is only one gear on each shaft, when there is only one gear on each shaft is known as simple gear trends. Okay, so you all can see here these are the simple gear trends. Okay, these are the simple gear trends. And you all can see when the distance between two shafts is small, the two gears 1 and 2 are made to mesh with each other to transmit motion from one shaft to other shaft as shown in figure A. You all can see this figure. Okay, since the gear 1 drives the gear 2, therefore gear 1 is called as driver and gear 2 is called as driven or a follower. Okay, you all understood what is driven and driver. Okay, and it may be noted that the motion of the driven gear is opposite to the motion of the driving gear. You all can see the figure here. The motion of the driver is rotating in anti-clockwise and driven is rotating in clockwise. So they have told that the important point to remember, that is driven driver will be rotating in opposite direction to the driven. Remember this. Okay, next. So for this you all can see speed ratio for simple gear trends. Okay, that is n1 by n2 is equal to t2 by t1. How it come in this n1 by n2 is equal to t2 by t1. How it came? See, n1 is the speed of this and n2 is n1 by n2 is t2. It may be noted that the ratio of speed of the driven or a follower to the speed of the driver is known as train value. Train value is nothing but this is the train value. Train value is equal to n2 by n1 is equal to t2 by t1. This is the train value. Okay, and next, so since the driving gear 1 is meshed with intermediate gear, this you can see intermediate gear, this is the driver, intermediate gear and a driven. So intermediate gear, for that we are getting, we have to, since the driving gear 1 is meshed with intermediate gear 2, therefore speed ratio for these two gears is n1 by n2 is equal to t2 by t1. Okay, similarly, as the intermediate gear 2 is being meshed with driven gear, this gear 2 intermediate gear 2 is meshed with gear 3, that is driven. So what it comes speed ratio here? N2 by N3 is equal to T3 by T2. So therefore speed ratio of gear train, speed ratio for gear train, speed ratio for gear train is, so you all can see here, N1 by N2 is equal to N2 by N3 multiply N1 by N2 into N2 by N3 is equal to T2 by T1 into T3 by T2. So you all can see here N2 goes off. Okay. So what remains? Therefore, here we take N1 by N3 is equal to T3 by T1. So this T2 goes off and remains N1 by N3 is equal to T3 by T1. This is the speed ratio you will get. Similarly, next we will go for compound gears. Compound gears, you all can see these are the compound gears. Okay, this you all can see this 2 and 3 are nothing but a compound gear. There will be a driven and driver gear and driven gear in each of the gear trains, but these are the compound gears. Compound gears, here you all can see gear 2 and gear 3 are the compound gears, and gear 5 and gear 4 is also a compound gear, isn't it? So for this, how it will come the speed ratio? Since the gear 1 is in mesh with gear 2, therefore the speed ratio N1 by N2 is equal to T2 by T1. Okay, will be gear ratio for 1 and 2. And for next 2, 3 and 4, we will get N3 by N4 is equal to T4 by T3. Therefore, speed ratio for gears 5. Speed ratio for gears 5 and 6 is N5 by N6 is equal to T6 by T5. Therefore, speed ratio for compound gear trains. Speed ratio for compound gear trains is equal to what will get N1 by N2 into N3 by N4 into N5 by N6 is equal to T2 by T1 into T3 by T4 by T3. It is T4 by T3 into T6 by T5. Therefore, since N2 is equal to N3 and N4 is equal to N5, what happens here in this equation? N3 goes off, N4, N5 goes off. So what remains? N1 by N6. Okay, N1 by N6 is equal to T2 by T1 into T4 by T3 into T6 by T5. This is the speed ratio obtained for compound gears. Next we'll go for reverted gear trains. Okay. reverted gear trains. Reverted gear trains, you all can see here. This is the figure for reverted gear trains, you all can see here. Okay, this is a figure for reverted gear trains. In this, you all can see one compound gear also here. Gear 2 and gear 3 is the compound gear, and that gear 3 is meshing with gear 4, which is behind this gear 1. So this is a reverted gear train. Okay, so what is reverted gear train? When the axis of the first gear and the last gear are coaxial. Axis of the first gear and last gear are coaxial, then the gear train is known as reverted gear trains. Okay, for this, how we will find the speed ratio? Okay, speed ratio we can find here. R1 in the sketch itself you can see here, R1 plus R2 is equal to R1. You all can see the figure, R1 plus R2. R1 is meshing with R2. Okay, R1 plus R2 is equal to R3 is meshing with R4. R3 plus R4. Okay, so what will get? R1 plus R2 is equal to R3 plus R4. Therefore, we will get T1 plus T2 is equal to T3 plus T4. Okay. Therefore, speed ratio for reverted gear trains is N1 by N4 is equal to T2 by T1 into T4 by T3. Isn't it? This is the speed ratio we have found for reverted gear trains. Next, for epicyclic gear trains. Epicyclic gear trains, you all can see the epicyclic gear trains will be in this form. Here you all can see gear A and gear B. Okay, both are meshing, isn't it? Next, there is an arm shown, arm C. Okay, arm shown, that is, and this is the epicyclic gear trains. So we have already discussed that in an epicyclic gear trains, the axis of the shaft over which the gears are mounted may move relative to the fixed axis. This is a fixed axis. One is a fixed axis with related to this fixed axis, it will move. A simple epicyclic gear train shown. The figure. Okay. So what will be here? Speed ratio. This is a types of gear trains and introduction. For today's class, we'll stop here. Okay, thank you. If you have any doubts, you can discuss.